Welcome to IQD Dinar News, your go-to source for the latest updates on currency exchange rates, revaluation news, and insights into the Iraqi dinar. Stay informed and ahead of the curve with our timely analysis and breaking developments. This requirement, that the government submit final accounts for the preceding 2 years, serves as a measure of financial accountability and transparency, aiming to provide legislators with a clear understanding of past expenditures before approving future ones. The final accounts represent a comprehensive report detailing all government revenues and expenditures for a given fiscal year. In Iraq's case, this process has been a contentious issue due to political disputes, structural inefficiencies, and historical challenges in the country's governance system. Ensuring that final accounts are submitted and reviewed is essential to avoid financial mismanagement, corruption, and inefficiencies, which have long plagued Iraq's public finances. Without these documents, lawmakers lack the necessary data to make informed decisions regarding budget allocations and fiscal policies. In the context of Iraq, the process of approving the annual budget is often complicated by political instability, conflicts of interest among various political factions, and differing views on the distribution of resources, particularly oil revenues. The country's economy heavily depends on oil exports, and thus, the budgeting process involves not only financial planning but also political bargaining over the distribution of oil revenue. Additionally, the lack of final accounts from previous years can exacerbate mistrust among lawmakers, leading to delays in budget approval and subsequent disruptions in government operations and public services. The inability to pass the budget on time can have far-reaching consequences for the economy, government functionality, and public welfare. Delays in approving the budget can hinder the implementation of key development projects, disrupt the payment of public sector salaries, and stall essential services. The central government and Iraq's various regions, including the semi-autonomous Kurdistan region. For years, the lack of a comprehensive and agreed-upon hydrocarbon law has been a source of tension between the federal government and the Kurdistan Regional Government, KRG. The law is seen as crucial for ensuring a fair distribution of oil wealth, which is vital for Iraq's economic stability and political unity. The connection between the budget approval process and the HCL is significant because a substantial portion of Iraq's revenue comes from oil exports. The country's economic well-being is thus closely tied to how oil revenues are managed and distributed. Any delays or disputes related to the HCL can complicate the budget process, as different political factions may seek to influence the allocation of resources. Additionally, oil-producing regions may demand a greater share of revenues or specific guarantees regarding the funding of development projects. Therefore, resolving the HCL dispute is essential for creating a more stable and predictable fiscal environment. There is also the implication that the approval of the 2025 budget and the resolution of the HCL issue could pave the way for significant economic changes, including a possible currency revaluation. In recent years, there has been speculation about the potential revaluation of the Iraqi dinar, particularly among those involved in currency speculation and investors hoping for a significant increase in the value of the dinar. And helping to control inflation. However, the decision to revalue a currency is complex and depends on multiple factors, such as the level of foreign exchange reserves, inflation rates, economic growth, and the stability of public finances. One of the critical factors influencing the possibility of a currency revaluation is Iraq's dependence on oil revenues. The country's economy is largely driven by oil exports, which account for a significant portion of government revenue and foreign exchange earnings. Thus, Fluctuations in oil prices can have a substantial impact on the economy and influence decisions regarding monetary policy. For a successful revaluation, Iraq would need to ensure that its economy is resilient enough to withstand external shocks, such as a sudden drop in oil prices, and that it has diversified its sources of revenue. Additionally, political stability is a crucial factor in any consideration of currency revaluation. The Iraqi government has faced ongoing challenges in maintaining internal security and political cohesion, which can affect economic stability. A currency revaluation would require a degree of confidence in the government's ability to implement sound fiscal and monetary policies. Moreover, there would need to be a coordinated effort between the Central Bank of Iraq and the government to ensure that any revaluation would not lead to unintended consequences, such as a rapid increase in the cost of living or capital flight. Another factor is the country's monetary policy and foreign exchange management. The Central Bank of Iraq, CBI, plays a key role in stabilizing the currency and maintaining foreign exchange reserves. To consider a revaluation, the CBI would need to evaluate the adequacy of its reserves, the stability of exchange rates, and the level of inflation. If the central bank were to perceive that economic fundamentals have strengthened sufficiently, a revaluation could be on the table. However, any changes to the currency's value would have to be approached cautiously to avoid economic disruptions. Furthermore, fiscal policy reforms and efforts to curb corruption are essential for creating an environment conducive to economic stability and growth. Iraq has struggled with corruption and inefficient public spending, which have hindered development efforts. Addressing these issues through reforms would not only improve the government's credibility but also create a more favorable environment for economic reforms, including potential currency revaluation. By demonstrating a commitment to financial transparency and accountability, the Iraqi government could enhance investor confidence and foster economic growth. The process of resolving the HCL issue and ensuring the passage of the 2025 budget in a timely manner could signal that Iraq is moving toward greater political and economic stability. If the final accounts from the last 2 years are submitted and reviewed as required, it would indicate progress in financial management and governance. Similarly, if the HCL is enacted, it could represent a major step forward in resolving long-standing disputes over resource distribution and improving relations between the central government and the Kurdistan regional government. Ultimately, the significance of passing the 2025 budget and addressing the HCL lies in their potential to foster a more stable economic environment. A stable budget process and fair distribution of oil revenues would not only improve fiscal management but also lay the groundwork for broader economic reforms. These developments could boost investor confidence, stimulate economic growth, and set the stage for potential changes in monetary policy, such as a currency revaluation. However, it is important to recognize that while there may be optimism surrounding these developments, numerous challenges remain. Political disagreements, administrative inefficiencies, and external economic factors, such as global oil prices, could still pose obstacles to achieving these goals. The success of Iraq's economic reforms will depend on the government's ability to navigate these challenges and implement policies that promote sustainable development. In conclusion, the statement about the impossibility of passing the 2025 budget without final accounts from the last 2 years reflects a broader push for accountability and financial reform in Iraq. The connection with the HCL indicates that resolving resource distribution issues is crucial for achieving political and economic stability. While there is hope that these developments could lead to a currency revaluation, such a move would require careful consideration of multiple factors, including fiscal management, monetary policy, and the overall economic environment. The outcome will ultimately depend on Iraq's ability to implement comprehensive reforms that address both short-term fiscal needs and long-term economic challenges. Thanks for tuning in to IQD Dinar News. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. For more updates on the Iraqi dinar and global currency trends, hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. See you in the next video.